We are here in Denver at the Marquis Theater with Kriegel from the Swiss band Eluveitie. Eluveitie.
Eluveitie is good.
Eluveitie.
Perfect.
So the tour has been going on for about a week. How has it been so far?
Really good, actually. Yeah, it's been like 1.5 weeks or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But so far, it's been really, really good, actually. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. I mean, the venues have been crowded so far every night. Yeah, we had some sold-out shows, and that's good anyway. So, but also, like, I mean, the chemistry between the bands is really, really good, and we're happy about this package. So yeah, the tour has been great so far.
And this is your second headlining tour in the United States, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And how do American fans react to your type of music?
Pretty good, I would say. Well, it's hard to touch probably, but I would say, yeah, really good.
You just came from Brazil. You played a couple gigs in Brazil right before you came to the States. How was that?
Hot as hell.
Hotter
Yeah.
than hell.
I mean, for sure. I mean, the shows have been amazing. It was really, really good for us being there. Yeah, we had a great time. The fans had a great time for sure. It has been like every show has been like a huge fucking party. But still, I think pretty much all of us were suffering a lot due to the temperatures. It was just like hot, like really hot.
You also were in India last year. Was that the first time you played in India? And if so, how was that?
Insane, yeah. It was insane. It was our first time playing there, and well, none of us had like any expectations because none of us has ever been to India before, and we just really had no idea what to expect. We didn't know like if we would have any fans over there. We didn't even know like if there's something like a metal scene or anything like that. So yeah, we had no idea at all what to expect. But well, what we found there when we came there was like beyond like everything we ever thought we would find there. Like it was insane. First of all, it was quite a big festival. There was like something between 20 and 25,000 people attending the show, and yeah, it was just like different, like a lot, like so much different you wouldn't imagine. But I mean, it was a good experience. It was absolutely fantastic. The crowd was amazing, absolutely amazing. Probably the best crowd we ever had, ever. They've been crazy like shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Now you formed this band in 2003 actually as a side project. What made you decide to make it a band, a touring ensemble?
Well, it's actually not that I wanted that I wanted Eluveitie to be just a studio project or anything like that. The problem was rather that back then there was no folk metal scene or anything like that. I mean, this kind of music was not established at all. So, well, when you were just like looking for musicians like within the metal scene, for example, and you were telling people, yeah, okay, I want to form like a death metal band, but including bagpipes and violins, people just looked at you as a complete moron, you know. That they considered you like crazy or anything like that. So it was almost impossible to find musicians. I mean, as a matter of fact, actually, I tried to form a band like Eluveitie many years before actually Eluveitie got founded. Actually, almost 10 years before I was trying. But yeah, it simply was not possible, and I was like giving up on the idea, and then I started again because like I just really wanted to do it and stuff. But yeah, I just never succeeded in that, and then someday like I had the idea, okay, maybe it would work as a mere project, you know, because like then none of the musicians involved will have like any obligations or something like that. They just could come to the studio, record the stuff, and leave again. There was no, obligation. They were not obligated to go to band rehearsals and blah blah, be on the road and stuff like that. So, and in late 2002 I tried this and it actually worked. Yeah, that was actually how our first EP was recorded. I just roughly recorded all the songs back at home, and I just gave like a CD with it to all the musicians I asked to perform on that album. Just told them, learn your stuff, come to the studio at that and that day and record your stuff, and then you can leave again. That's actually how the first EP got recorded, and the only time like all the musicians involved actually met was for the band picture. There was not one single band rehearsal or anything like that. And well, like half a year later or something, when this EP finally got released, it just got really well reviews in the scene, and it was sold out like pretty much immediately, and we got live requests for concerts and blah blah blah, everything. And that was actually when we sat down together and said like, okay, that's the situation now, like what do we want to do? And I would like to be a real band, and so some of the musicians involved like decided, okay, I want to join, like Mary, fiddle player, and some others couldn't because they were not interested or whatever.
Eluveitie means I am the Helvetian.
Yeah, exactly.
In Gaulish.
Yeah.
What made you decide on A, that name, and B, what is your fascination with that extinct language? Did you study it, or is that just because you are from that region?
It's pretty much both, I would say. I mean, it's just a personal passion since like I can't remember, like many years. But I think it's quite a natural thing. I mean, if you play that kind of music, or no, let's put it the other way around. I mean, like in extreme metal generally, like be it black metal or whatever, it's quite common, at least today, or like even 10 years ago, it was quite common like to sing in your native language. And
Slave did that too on their first 2 albums, I want to say.
There you go. Like, I mean, there are like hundreds of bands doing that. And since we as a band like are focusing lyrically Gaulish culture and history, it's just like kind of obvious to do songs in Gaulish language.
So what made you decide to go a little bit heavier?
Well, to be honest, I don't really feel that difference, and I don't know if any one of us actually does. In my opinion, most of the differences between the albums are like the quality of the production, the quality of the mixing. And I mean, I have to admit, like, mixing an Eluveitie album is everything but easy, because there's always insanely much going on, with all the instruments and choirs and blah blah blah. Just to give you an example, like on a title track of our recent album, there had been like 90 tracks to mix for one song, which is hell of a lot. So I mean, it's quite a difficult thing to get everything heard, and to get it transparent. And each time we produce an album, that gives you the chance, like to do experiences and to learn things, and that's what we are doing. And every time we record an album, we produce an album, we try to put into action what we learned in the last production. And that of course also includes the decision or how did the choice of the producer and all that. And this time we recorded with Tommy Fetcherly and mixed with Colin Richardson.
Yeah, and this how did you guys get Colin?
We wrote him an email.
Nice.
Yeah, that was basically it. And that was I mean, it's not that personally I'm like 100% happy with the mix. I mean, looking back, there's always things you would change and stuff like that. But if it comes to the transparency of the mix itself, Colin definitely did a great job, and it's probably the first Eluveitie album that where you can hear every single instrument at every time, and this is probably, I think, why it sounds like more focused, let's say. I don't think like the other albums sound more orchestral. I just think they sound more chaotic, basically. So, but if it comes to songwriting, I well, of course, there's a natural process, and you improve like writing songs and stuff like that, blah blah blah. But basically, I don't think there's that much of a difference between like the recent album and, let's say, Slania, for example. It's basically the production of it which improved.
So how was it working with Tommy Vetterli from ex-Coroner, ex-Creator?
Amazing. We love that guy.
He lives in Switzerland now, right?
Yeah, he lives actually quite close to where we live, and we will record the next albums with him again. Yeah, it has been a great experience. I mean, we have been talking about recording with him like quite a while before, actually, maybe even for Slania and Evocation, but we were always a little bit skeptical because, I mean, if it comes to the production of like a massive metal album, Switzerland is definitely not the first choice you would think of. Definitely not. And so we were always a bit skeptical. Yeah, okay, it's Tommy, but still, like, I mean, how good can it be, and blah blah blah. And it was basically our manager, actually, who was like Coroner's manager back then, and of course he's a good friend of Tommy, who actually made us like
check him out.
Made us check him out. I mean, he was just like, yeah, just do it, just go there and blah blah blah. And then we went to Tommy's studio for one day just to check everything out and have some talks with him, and he completely convinced us. And now looking back, after having recorded him, I really have to say that he's probably one of the greatest engineers worldwide. I mean, he's just like, if it comes to engineering, he's just a genius in my opinion. And yeah, we will record the next album with him again.
With Evocation 1, it was mostly acoustic, and it got really good reviews. Were you surprised about that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, do an acoustic album, that was just an idea we had in mind for years. And it was just basically something that kind of challenged us, and something that we really wanted to try out one day. And well, yeah, 2009 we just did it, but we had no idea what to expect. We really did not know how people would react to it, especially, I mean, since we did not want just to play like traditional folk music or something like that. I mean, we wanted to try to kind of create our own acoustic music, which for sure would be like very folkish and everything, but still would be like beyond traditional folk music. So yeah, we had no idea what to expect, and we were also nervous a bit about that, and we knew that it probably was also like risky a little bit. That was also what like the record companies told us and blah blah blah, because like Slania, the album before that, was quite successful, and then like do something completely different, that's kind of a crazy thing to do in a way. But yeah, we just were like, yeah, fuck it. Just, I mean, that's what we wanted to do, and just let's do it. And but yeah, I mean, the reaction was like really positive, and we were surprised about that in a good way, of course.
And I hear you describing your music as folk metal. What do you, in the all-knowing metal genre, would you describe your music?
Rock and roll.
There you go.
Well, to be honest, we really do not care at all about labelings of music. I mean, that's basically your job, not ours. And well, we just really don't give a shit. I mean, we don't care about music labels anyway, and we're really open-minded people musically anyway. So after all, it's just fucking rock and roll. So what the hell?
Visuals. You mentioned Slania a couple of times, and on the new album, is that her older or
Probably.
how important are visuals to you, artwork and booklet as an artist?
Well, very important actually, but usually there's not like, I mean, there's not like a deeper meaning or anything like yeah. I mean, to us, like the whole artworky thing is more about to create an atmosphere, you know, like to something you can transport a certain emotion in a certain atmosphere with, which of course goes hand in hand with the music we play. That's basically it. But in that sense, of course, yeah, it's very important to us.
Now, you guys went to Poland and recorded your video with Grupa 13, and they also did, I think, the last two Behemoth videos.
Yeah, exactly.
What made you guys decide to go there? Because I think their stuff is just awesome.
Yeah, exactly that. Their stuff is awesome. That made us decided. I mean, I think we decided to work together with them after we seen like the clip they did for Behemoth. I can't remember which song it was. Like,
Alas, the Lord is upon me.
probably it was Of Fire and the Void.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that clip and we were just like, wow, fuck, holy crap. I mean, those guys are insanely talented and whatever. I mean, it's just great.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, then we got in touch with them, and I'm sure it was not the last time we've been working together. I mean, they are just amazing. They're great people to work with. Amazing.
So after this tour, what's next for Eluveitie? And again,
well,
Eluveitie.
Who cares? We'll have like a very short tour in Europe after that, just right after.
Oh, Pagan Fest,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, and then we'll be basically playing some single shows and well festivals, of course, during summer all over Europe. But that's pretty much it until autumn, because we want to take some time to finish our next album.
Did you already started writing on it?
Yeah, totally. And yeah, in autumn we're planning to go to the studio again and record that one, and then we'll start touring again.
Cool. So now the famous last words.
Well, as usual, thank you very much for the interview, and thanks to everybody who's interested in our band.
Thank you.
Tu l'avais senti, oh.